Well, thank you very much, Pat, and it's always a pleasure to be here in Valemount and in the Robson Valley. And I do want to begin by, first of all, thanking you and Sean and others for organizing this opportunity for people to come out and hear from the people who want to represent you in Victoria. And I think that's a very important part of any electoral process. I do want to comment that I have had the unbelievable pleasure of being the MLA for Prince George Mount Robson for 8 years. And through that time, I think we would all recognize that there have been some very challenging times in the Robson Valley, but also in British Columbia, and in fact, currently around the world. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, what are we going to do about that? And I'm a believer in when there are challenging times, it's also about finding opportunities. And over the last 8 years, one of the things that I think has characterized, I hope, my work in the Robson Valley is the very positive working relationships that have been created with whatever village council has been in place, whichever mayor, and we have a new mayor and we have our past mayor here. But I've also managed to work very positively with our regional district directors and our federal counterparts, our federal MPs. And that's demonstrated by some of the projects and infrastructure grants that we've been able to actually secure for the Robson Valley. That's not something an MLA does by themselves. It's actually a result of the kinds of positive relationships that have been developed over 8 years. And I do think there are two very specific initiatives that the province has adopted as a result of work that started right here in Valemount and in the Robson Valley. Two initiatives I'm very proud of. One of them recognizes the challenge that small rural communities have with infrastructure. And as a result of that, we started a program called Towns for Tomorrow, which is unprecedented in British Columbia because of the percentage that's actually provided to small rural communities, an 80-20% split for a grant. That's unprecedented in the province. You told me about that issue, and we went back to Victoria together over and over again to say, this is important to us, and so we reacted to that. And the other is one that is very passionate for many of you in this room, and I know you well, and that's the issue of seniors housing and having affordable seniors housing in rural British Columbia. And as a result of the work that we did together, the province responded to that with a program that's going to see 1,000 units across the province. I do think there is something that's important. You're going to hear today about representing the Robson Valley. It's not only important to take the message of the Robson Valley to Victoria, it's important to bring Victoria to the Robson Valley. And I have had the pleasure and the honor of bringing over 14 senior cabinet ministers, including the Premier, to the Robson Valley to hear from you, to learn from you, to visit here, and to make decisions based on how they actually know the Robson Valley. That's a significant accomplishment. It didn't happen previous to these 8 years. So I think it is about good representation. It's about knowing the people that live here, understanding their issue. There is work to be done, there is no doubt about that. But I hope that as we move forward, I will have the chance to continue to roll up my sleeves, to listen to your concerns, and take those messages to Victoria. I love the Robson Valley. I've learned a lot about your resilience and the amazing people that you are, and it's been an honor to serve you for 8 years. Thank you for having us here today.